I live in Alabama, and in Alabama, a key part of our life is college football. We have both Auburn and Alabama, and Alabama has consistently, over the last 10 years, been in the hunt for the national championship. But you're only as good as your last game, and this past weekend, Alabama lost their first game against Texas. Well, that's not a whole lot of difference between the success and failure of companies. You're only as good as your last quarter, and your earnings of your last quarter. Sorry to say, that is what happens. So as an investor, have to use past history as a measurement of who are going to be the successful companies this coming year and the following year, and how are they adapting to the change that is occurring around them, and then allocating their funds to increase their revenues and their profits, which will ultimately drive the price of their stock. So past history becomes important to me. So this is a chart that I put together where I took the 30 stocks that I hold in my BUS 12 and my BUS 13 portfolios, which are all about the change being brought around by artificial intelligence, machine learning, and synthetic biology. I then took, and based on past history, looking at the since IPO, 10-year, 5-year, 1-year, and 1-month performance, I whittled that down to the top 10. And what I want to do is, in this video, is take you through the analysis that I did, that I came up with my top 4 out of the 30 that I think are going to do well. What that's going to then help me do is allocate the funds that I have available proportionately to the 4 that I think are going to outperform the other 26. Now, I will add to this portfolio, and in fact, I will take away from it if, in fact, my regular analysis says we need to make an adjustment. Now, this is not financial advice. This is my sharing my knowledge, and I prefer to call it financial education. We'll get right to it. We'll go to the computer. I'll walk you through it and show you how I came up with the top 4 AI stocks for probably the next 3 to 5 years.
Best of Us Investors presents Kerry Griegmeyer.
As I said earlier, this is a chart that I put together on Google Sheets that follows the history of the top 10 performing stocks within my portfolio of 30. They are NVIDIA, Marvell, Apple, Advanced Micro Devices, Intest, Ahir Systems, Rambus, Supermicro Computers, Vertiv Holdings, and Tesla. So this is their performance. What I've done is gathered their stock performance from 1999 through today on those where I had that kind of information. Some of them only have 5 years of performance. That's Vertiv Holdings. And then, so this then is their average rate of return since their inception, okay? What I've then done is highlighted in black those that are the top performers. The top performer is Tesla. The second is a surprise, Marvell. The third is NVIDIA. And then that's followed by Ahir Test and Apple, and then AMD, giving the lowest at 38%, the highest at 112. Then I followed it on down to 10-year, 5-year, 1-year, and 1 month. And what I've done is blacked out those, or shown in black, those that are the top performers in these periods of time. Again, if we believe that the last year is the best indication of future performance, that would give us our top performer at 316% at Supermicro Computer, followed by Ahir Test Systems, and then NVIDIA. So then I took the blacked numbers and I created an average. NVIDIA comes out with 172, Ahir Testing comes out with 120, Supermicro Computer comes out with 124, and Tesla comes out with 94, rounded up to 95. So I don't think there's a big surprise wrapped around NVIDIA and Tesla. I think there's a general knowledge within the public that these are going to be some of the big players as we move through the next 3 to 5 to 10 years. But air test systems, I don't think most people really know what they're all about. If you go to my website, Best of Us Investors here, you'll find a detailed description of all 30 of the stocks that are in my BUS 12 and my BUS 13 portfolio. And then as far as super macro computer, these are the people who are making the computers that have to end up in the data centers. And they're going to be more and more data centers because, again, what's happening is we have gathered knowledge over the last 40 years, or data over the last 40 years. And this data is now going to be distributed to you and I and corporations to help us make better decisions. Well, just think about if you would pick up your phone and ask your phone a question, and it would immediately give you an answer. I talk into my phone. Think what happens there. If you ask your phone, who is the 17th president of the United States, it immediately gives you an answer. How did that happen? It transported that information to a data center somewhere way far away from you through a web, and I call it the World Wide Web because to me it's like a spider web, and that signal goes out there and then immediately comes back to you. There's some tremendous computing power about that. Well, what if now, after you got that answer, you ask it immediately another question, and you started carrying on a conversation back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Well, that's requiring even more computing power, and that is what is happening now. We are upgrading our computer systems, our data centers, to accommodate this kind of transaction. I said in a video yesterday that I'll be able to go to Bard or ChatGPT or maybe it's Salesforce or Snowflake or someplace, and I'm going to be able to ask a question of, I have a YouTube channel and I have a subscription service on my website, and this is what I do, and this is how often I do it. Help me put together a business plan. And they will. And it will. And I'm going to probably pay someone for the ability to access that information. That's a subscription service. So then I ask myself, who has the greatest potential for a subscription service? Well, I did a video on that not long ago, and I told you how many active users Google has and how many active users Microsoft has. Well, if they create a business model that says, Kerry, we can help you manage your business, much as QuickBooks has created a way that I can manage the financial end of my business, and I pay something like $19.99 a month for it. Well, what if Google can do that? Or what if Apple or Amazon or Meta can do that? And then they have a subscription service. This is where this is going. If they can make my life better, and I don't have to hire a $36,000 a year employee to do those things, instead I can pay someone $29 a month to do it, as through artificial intelligence, that's what I'm going to do. That's what you're going to do. And you may say, well, I don't have a business to do that. You have a pantry and a refrigerator, and you want someone to shop for you and deliver the groceries into your pantry, and that's what's going to happen. And you're going to be able to interchange with it and to the point of say, well, we've got too much spaghetti sauce here. When you deliver the fruit and vegetables next week, pick up the spaghetti sauce, and it'll be done. And it will be a concierge service that will pay you, that you will pay Google or Meta or Apple, and that's where this is going. What I'm talking to you about today is the 4 stocks that are going to make all that possible. And again, that's NVIDIA, Air Test Systems, Supermacro Computer, and Tesla. I talked to you about yesterday and the day before about Tesla. I'm a convert on Tesla. I didn't like their exposure in China, but I woke up and I understand now I'm going to have a side hustle, and it's going to be 6 Teslas inside my Roth IRA that is going to produce me an annual income of about $250,000. $1,000 that is totally tax-free. Look at that video that I've done. I did 2 videos on Tesla in the last 2 days. If you aren't aware of what I'm talking about, you need to wake up to it. There are going to be all kinds of opportunities like this as a result of you and I having access to all the knowledge in the world, and it'll be at our fingertips. It might cost us $30 a month, but it's going to be well worth it. It's going to level the playing field. That's what's going to happen. I mean, even to the point, can you write code? No. But you will be able to just by describing what you want. The code will be written, the program will be created, and you'll deliver it. You will, if you want to be a small business owner and become a large business owner, it's right around the corner. I'm Kerry Grinkmeyer. I'm a retired financial advisor. I'm in the most exciting part of my life because opportunity is knocking on my door, and it's knocking on your door. And if you want to be a part of this, if you want to be a part of a team of people who work together to take advantage of the change that is coming through the door, join our tribe and get on the bus.